So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and let's go ahead and unbox and take a first impressions look at the Samsung Galaxy S25. Alright, so when looking at the box, you'll notice from last year, this box is actually a little bit more gray looking versus the black box of last year with the S24 line. That's across the board. Personally, it looks a little faded to me. I like the S24's box, but we're not here too much for the box. But you'll see you do get the color, like on the tape that shows the color you ordered, which you can see right there. I ordered the blue color. So let's just get right into this box right here. And you'll see here is the blue Samsung Galaxy S25, and I think it looks pretty great, honestly. It is a little bit darker than you might expect, but definitely looks pretty great. It kind of reminds me of some of the older years of Samsung, definitely when they used to do these like blue colors. So you might really like this, you might really not. So let me know your thoughts down below. All right, so let's go ahead and peel the tab off and see how it sounds. Oh man, that sounded pretty great. Definitely pretty great. You know, I always like when these screen covers, they gotta sound good, or the phone doesn't feel new. It feels like they just play something on there that wasn't brand new. I know it's nothing, but it just feels a little good when the initial screen peel with this little protector comes off. It has to sound like that. You heard it right there. You did. All right, so let's go ahead and boot this thing up and see what we have here. So it is a 6.2 inch AMOLED display, well, dynamic AMOLED. This is 2340 by 1080, so you're not getting yourself the full like 2K resolution that you'll find on the bigger phone, but you're definitely getting a quite nice panel here. It is 120 hertz, and that's something you don't get on the iPhone 16 at that price point. So that's definitely going to be nice. In here, all you get is a cable, some warranty guides, and a SIM card tool. So we don't even need to open that up. That's pretty much all that comes inside of this box besides that. They don't throw the charger in there no more, anything like that. Luckily, you probably already have a charger, but that's no excuse if you don't. Some people still don't like that. Let's go ahead and just agree to the terms. We'll set this up manually. We'll skip Wi-Fi. Let's just continue for now. And one of the things I could tell you right away is that this feels exactly like last year's phone, just slightly lighter, just very, very slightly. It's like 5 grams difference. Let's go to setup later in settings. But what's nice about this is this phone is 6.2 inches and it has a Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. A lot of the new phones that are coming out already are much larger than this, and they have the 8 Elite. So if you want a smaller package phone, this or the upcoming S25 Edge are going to be really good options if you don't want such a large phone, but you want the 8 Elite chip. That's one thing I will state here. So I'm just going to skip for now the fingerprint. We'll just hit accept right here. And you'll see right here, I'm just going to put other state, and we'll put light mode, and we'll just kind of get in the phone and check it out here. So you'll see the bezels here don't look like they're really reduced from last year. This overall phone is kind of more of an iterative update over the S24. If you're coming from something like the S23, the S22, you might actually be a little bit more interested in this than someone from last year. This is a definite no-go, in my opinion. If you're coming from last year, you're basically buying the same phone twice. But you'll see we do have ourselves a really nice blue, which I definitely do like. And the cameras do have those same black camera rings that you'll find on the S25 Ultra. Some people are a fan, some people are not a fan. Really depends on you. And you'll see right here, we do have the volume rocker. We do have the power button at the bottom. Still nice to have a SIM card tray. We do have ourselves USB-C. And then we have a speaker. And then you'll see they also moved the 5G antenna up here, which is a pretty nice touch because you could block it with your hand before. So that's a small detail I noticed. Also, no IMEI branding on this phone. And on the top, you'll find microphone, but no IR blaster, so that's going to be reserved for some Chinese phones. This one doesn't have that. However, overall, you're getting the Now Brief. You're getting all the same AI features that you'll find on the larger phone. So if you were looking for a phone that gives you a lot of what the S25 Ultra gives you, this is definitely going to be one of them, but in a smaller package. However, there are some camera cuts that are going to be made as well for this product. So this phone comes with its own wallpaper right there. It's going to be that one color. And then one of the things I'm not a fan of is they've been reducing the wallpapers to just give you AI wallpapers, but I don't always want to create them with AI. They used to have a much bigger pack of wallpapers. Now they're putting like one or two, and then we're getting these basic wallpapers down here in colors, which I do think are okay, but some other phones just give me a much better default wallpaper pack. I understand you can create with generative AI. It's just not something I always want to do. I just want to hop in and have a nice pack, but these graphical ones, these right here, these colors, I understand. Just go download an app and download your own wallpaper. I get it, but you should have seen some of the older Samsung phones. They used to have like a huge wallpaper pack. Nowadays, I kind of got to go create my own. So not a big fan of that. It's not really like a big deal, but it's still something I wanted to mention about. This is about all the Samsung phones now. At the same time, what else are we getting here? Well, you're getting yourself the same battery size as last year, which is going to come in well under 5,000, which is something some people might not like, but it's still decent at 4,000 milliamp. And you do have a 25 watt wired charging. So again, not the fastest, but still faster than like something like an iPhone 16, for example, which definitely doesn't charge as fast as the Galaxy phone. We also do have wireless charging as well on here, and you can get this in the nice exclusive color options as well, like a pink gold, a blue black, and also a coral red, which is one I might check out for the larger plus version. So what else should we talk about first impressions here? Well, the display. This one doesn't seem to have the same anti-reflective properties that we find on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, but definitely it still looks pretty good. I'm not too upset with it. It still has a similar color tone though, so it's a little bit more toned down than before, but I think they found a sweet spot between, hitting that, putting the vivid mode and giving you like good colors, like they're natural for people who don't like the oversaturation. I think they found a good sweet spot there. So this is definitely a really good display. Also, we do have ourselves a pretty small punch hole right there, so it doesn't look too obtrusive. And of course, you're going to get the Now brief here with all the new Galaxy AI features. This is essentially just a modern Samsung phone with all the stuff that the top of the line has, mostly, but in a smaller, cheaper package with a little bit of a sacrifice to the camera. But it's a really great general consumer phone. I think a lot of people are going to love this one if they love Samsung. They definitely will. What I always liked about the smaller version is that I can still do things like multitasking, split view modes. I'm getting all the AI features now, and I don't have to use a massive phone. That's what I really like about this product. It's light, it has good battery life, it has really good speed, and it does all like the main things mostly without being a heavy device. It's really one of the more compact feeling options these days. It's not compact like mini size, but compact compared to all the other top flagships. So let's go ahead and take a look at the camera. Now in the camera, you'll have 1x, 2x, and 3x. You also have that 5x button right there. In portrait, you can go over here, swipe over, and you'll have face settings right there. You'll have exposure settings, everything they brought down to make it a little bit easier. I am a fan of this because it used to be up here, which was more of a reach. So more one-handed usability here. Not quite as much zoom as you'll find on the bigger phone, but I still think it's plenty enough for most people. I don't think most people need more than 30, unless you're really into zoom photography. You'll see right here, we do have video up to 8K at 30, which is pretty good. HD, UHD at 60. These are high quality video modes. In addition, you'll get things like Pro Video, Night Mode, Food Modes, Pro Modes, Dual Record. I mean, most of the stuff you'll find on the Ultra is present here as well. Again, the lenses aren't quite 200 megapixels. They're not their top ones, but when you actually compare the results, they're not too different. So I do think some people will notice the differences, especially those who have an eye for detail. But on the whole, you're still getting a really good overall setup on this phone for the cameras. You're definitely not behind like in some bad camera phone here. That's the best way I could put it for this one. Still going to give you those similar Samsung results. If you like how Samsung pictures look, you'll like these. If you don't, you probably won't like these either. But what are your thoughts on the camera update? They definitely look a little bit bigger because of those camera rings. Some people don't like them. I don't really mind them. They still look similar to last year. They just look a little bit different with the black. Although I don't think they contrast well with the lighter colors, but they look kind of cool on this. I'm going to wrap it up here on my first impressions. We talked about the battery, we talked about the camera, we talked about the display, we talked about the build. Overall, it is just an iterative update over the Galaxy S24 of last year. I'll show you that phone right here. Yes, the cameras are a little bit different. It's slightly shorter. It just feels slightly more compact than last year, which is a good thing. I feel like people don't like when phones get bigger, especially in this space, because this is the smaller size option. They like to see thinner, lighter, smaller devices. So this is a little bit improved over last year, kind of back to like the S23 size. So definitely, I think you'll like that. I do really love this blue. I think it's pretty stunning. Also, I do like how this phone still gives you all the AI suite, the Now Brief and all that, and still has a lot of great camera features. It's a good phone, especially when you trade in. You get this thing for much lower than the iPhone 16, for example, which is its primary competitor. It's a solid option. Taking a look at it next to the iPhone 16. 16 actually made bigger changes though this year, which definitely makes it feel a little bit more different because Samsung kind of kept it similar. But the 15 was already behind, so, you know, and this one is still behind with the 60 hertz. But overall, you can see that the competitors are definitely, they're definitely sitting at the top of this area for these regular flagships, so they're doing pretty good. I would like to see some updates though. That's why maybe they brought the Edge, but the same design after the past 3 years. It's time for something a little bit newer, I would say, next year. But stay tuned. I'll do some more videos with this, comparisons. If you guys like to see some speed tests, let me know down below. And let me know your thoughts on the base Galaxy S25. Let's talk about it down below in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know if you actually picked up the regular S25 or the S25 Plus down below. I'll catch you on the next episode. Nick here. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to be well, and peace.